Hey y'all, today we're making Creole style smothered okra with smoked sausage and chicken. So let's get started. We start with some washed and dried okra. After removing the top cap and bottom stem with a sharp knife, cut the okra pod into 1/2 inch rounds. Okra should be green, slightly hairy, and a little prickly, with ivory or white colored internal seeds. If okra is hard, and you'll know it when you attempt to slice it, or has dark seeds or any suspicious discolorations, don't use it. Where we from, most people do not pronounce okra as okra with the RAH ending. We also don't say okra gumbo because okra means gumbo, so it's almost like you saying gumbo. Typically, the Creole cook will say, I made some Creole or seafood gumbo or whatever the featured meat is in the gumbo. And we'll ask the question, is there okra in it? Because one, to us, okra is one way to thicken a Creole gumbo, but not the only way. And two, when not cooked correctly, okra can have a bit of slime quality, and most people don't like that. But as you can see, I've cut 2 pounds of fresh okra, and this is a small amount of slime. Today, we're making Creole style smothered okra with tomato chicken and smoked sausage. It has no slime and is the consistency of a stew and can be eaten by itself or with rice. You choose. Now season the sliced okra with some Creole seasoning. We're using Mrs. Clotilde's certified Creole seasoning. Then you want to take 2/3 of the seasoned okra and spread it in a single layer on a baking sheet and bake in a preheated 425 Fahrenheit oven for 30 minutes. At the 20-minute mark, you want to take the okra out of the oven and give it a stir so that it roasts on both sides. This roasting is going to help dry out any slime that may be inside of the okra. While the okra is roasting, let's cut up our smoked sausage. We're using Richard certified Cajun smoked sausage, not andouille sausage, just plain Cajun smoked sausage. We're going to cut the sausage into 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch discs and set aside. For the chicken, I use either party wings that are already separated or whole wings that are separate, whichever is cheapest. Slice the skin between the flat and drumette, pop it open, and run your knife through the break in the cartilage. Do the same maneuver for the flat and tip. I save the tip for stock, but you can definitely add the tip to the okra if you want. Then season our chicken with some additional Creole seasoning and set aside. Here you see the difference between our roasted okra and our raw okra. The roasted okra is darkened in color, contracted in size due to the drying process, and there is no evidence of slime. Now in our Dutch oven over medium flame, we heat our vegetable oil until it begins to shimmer. Then we add our sausage and saute until the fat renders and the sausage browns a bit. We don't want hard sausage. We still want an essentially soft piece of sausage that has released its grease and has a bit of color. Then remove the sausage from the oil and do the same for the chicken. We're going to saute the chicken to render most of the fat from the skin, provide some browning, and start the cooking process. So brown the chicken on both sides. Be mindful of the heat. The heat should be medium-low to medium. We don't want our frond on the bottom to burn. Once our chicken has browned a bit on both sides, remove from the pot and set aside. You should have a bit of grease left over. We will need to remove all of the grease except for about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the grease. Leftover grease can go into our drippings can or we can discard. Then we start sauteing our veggies. We add some yellow onion, or as my Cajun Uncle Felix would say, some yellow onion, a bit of bell pepper, and some celery. Season with a bit of salt and some ground black pepper. Know your seasoning. Mrs. Clotilde's is a low-sodium, all-purpose seasoning that's evenly balanced. So if you want a particular spice or herb to stand out, you have to put a bit more of that herb or spice that you want to stand out in your dish. As you can see, the water from the veggies is already assisting with deglazing the frond. Add some garlic, a medium serrano pepper that has been seeded and diced, a couple tablespoons of tomato paste, and a couple of bay leaves. Mix that together until aromatic. Then add in some chicken stock. If you don't have homemade chicken stock, commercial chicken stock is fine. Water will also work in a pinch. Ingredients, measurements, links to seasonings, as well as a link to our homemade chicken stock can be found in the description box. Give a good stir to finish deglazing. Next, we add our vine-ripened tomatoes with their juice, some dried thyme leaves, a bit of dried basil, and some dried parsley leaves. And we want to mix these spices in to combine and bring to a simmer for about 20 minutes until the flavors begin to meld. Next, we mix in our raw okra, our smoked sausage. And do you see that grease that has collected in the bowl that the smoked sausage is in? Do not add that to your stew. Mix in our final bit of Creole seasoning, and then we add our chicken. Again, don't add the grease that has collected in the bowl that the chicken has been sitting in. Once you get everything mixed together, cover and simmer for 20 minutes. This simmer is going to draw out any slime and cook it for thickening. Next, we add our roasted okra and we stir that in. Cover and cook for our final 20 minutes. Now, as you can see, there is no slime to be found. The okra gravy or stew is thickened. The okra is tender, but it's intact. You can look at it and tell it's okra. That means it's not overcooked because it's not falling apart. You can tell it's okra. Serve by itself with a pat of cornbread on the side or with some steamed white rice. And there you have it. Creole style smothered okra with smoked sausage and chicken. If you enjoyed this video, please like and consider subscribing. We love to have you as a part of our Creole and Cajun cooking community. And remember, when you mix a little bit of Creole with a little bit of Cajun, that's good eating. See y'all next time.